So it just seems so crazy to me that 2016 was literally a decade ago. Like 2016 really doesn't feel like it was 10 years ago, but it was. But it's, man, time really been flying since 2020, dog, like for real. But on the hindsight, I want to talk about one of the most controversial films of that time, and it is Zack Snyder's Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. And I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. 10 years ago when this movie came out, I was actually super excited because I was like, yo, this is the first time we get Batman and Superman together on screen. This is like the first time we ever get this, right? This is one of the biggest moments, or should be one of the biggest moments that happen in superhero media in ever. And I have to say, even after 10 years, I done seen the theatrical version, and I've seen the Ultimate Edition, which is indeed actually a better version of the movie. I still think Batman vs Superman is not a good film. I still think that it is bad and just so dumb in so many areas. And one of the things that I will express the fact that like there's some major themes in BVS that actually add up, like power and accountability. You know what I mean? Like Superman, as powerful as Superman is, should he be trusted without some oversight? Little bit of like some another movie that came out in the same year that I'll be talking about eventually, and just like the fear versus hope thing. Because I think about Batman's whole thing is scaring people. Superman is supposed to be about hope, but Superman in the Snyder movies is the most unhopeful person I've ever seen, and that's not Superman, which is why, as messed up as I'm about to sound, but James Gunn's Superman is a better Superman because his Superman represents exactly that. Did Batman and BVS represent fear? Oh hell yeah! I was terrified of that Batman. That nigga was the most ass kicked Batman we've ever gotten in movies. I'm hoping that changes in Gunn's verse because as cool as Michael Keaton's Batman was in The Flash, the man is 70. Like I don't understand like how that was even supposed to continue after that because my man was 70 and he was moving like he was in 1989, but better somehow. You know what I mean? There's the manipulation from Lex Luthor. You know what I mean? He's portraying both of their fears to cause conflict, which I guess works. I guess that works. It never really mattered to me that much that Luthor's plan, because it didn't, like Luthor's plan seemed like get them to fight each other, but then he's going to create this big ass monster at the end just to have the Trinity meet up to fight each other. I just think that whole thing was stupid. And then Doomsday, just don't even get me started on Doomsday. And one of the other themes is mythological, like some kind of like symbolism, like portraying Superman as like a god, which is the laziest thing you could do. Superman is best when he's portrayed human than when he's portrayed like Jesus. And like I said, Man of Steel did it, and it didn't work in Man of Steel. BVS really leaned into it, like, oh yeah, Superman is this god among people, and he is just so all powerful and everything. And I'm like, bruh, what in the blue hell are y'all doing? Like, it doesn't, it just doesn't work. It's so lazy. But anyway, Batman vs Superman is like, it takes place literally right after Man of Steel. Maybe it's a little, maybe like a year or some change later. Like destruction of Metropolis happens. Batman's there, which I think is a really cool connection. Actually, that scene is great. Batman being there to see the whole Metropolis destruction thing happen, and you see him running through the city saving people. I think that is one of the best scenes in the movie, if not one of my favorites. It's not my favorite in the movie because I really like that scene. Him running around the city as Bruce Wayne saving people has to be one of the best things. Like, just period. But, there's a manipulative, Lex Luthor is working behind the scenes to get them to go against each other. All the scenes that happen when they show up is really cool. Like, I really like the scene. I will say, like, I do like the scene when they meet each other as Clark and Bruce. That scene's cool. Like I said, there's a few scenes in BVS that are good. That's one of them. The scene where Bruce is running around the city saving people, and then like when Wonder Woman shows up as Wonder Woman for the first time, that was some hype shit. I remember in the theater, we all started clapping and screaming. We was like, "Oh shit, Wonder Woman!" But I like that's one of my biggest issues with the movie. There's just too much going on, and Wonder Woman being in the movie annoys me because I wish we didn't know she was Wonder Woman. They should have hid that. They should have hid that Gal Gadot was Wonder Woman, because originally, she's walking around, she's doing all this espionage ish type stuff, and you're thinking, oh wow, she's Catwoman. Maybe she's Catwoman. But then you find out she's Wonder Woman, and it'd been way cooler. But then it just doesn't flow, because then when she shows up as Wonder Woman finally, you're just like, oh, hey, what's up, Wonder Woman? But we already knew you were Wonder Woman because we saw pictures of her and all this other stuff. But again, BVS is one of those movies where I'm just like, there's just like, hey, I really hate the way Jesse Eisenberg did it. One, I hated the fact that he was even cast as Luthor, even though he was Alexander Luthor Jr., just to kind of separate him from Luthor. And he's got his daddy issues, and God sucks because my dad did this to me, and this, that, and the third. That's all understandable. I get it. Don't think I don't get it. But the movie just, like Jesse Eisenberg was that performance was ass, bro. Like, like I remember so many like people were just on the internet like, oh, Jesse Eisenberg's Luthor is great. If you think he sucks, you're crazy. He's awesome. And I wanted to go see the movie like, yo, I can't wait to see Jesse Eisenberg. That nigga probably gonna snap. This man was ass, bro. And Henry Cavill was somehow worse as Superman in BVS than he was in Man of Steel. I actually like Henry Cavill in Man of Steel for the most part. I like the way he looks as Superman. I love the demeanor, but him being Superman just didn't feel like Superman. He never did, even after Man of Steel. In BVS, he's more dry and disheartened from the world than he otherwise was in Man of Steel. It just doesn't make any sense. People literally died in an explosion around him that he could have stopped, and he just doesn't have a reaction to it. He doesn't react at all to that situation. He just is standing there. I'm like, yeah, he's fine, but everyone else is dead around him. Like it's just not. I just don't like this representation of Superman. It's not even that I think Superman's ass or anything. I like Superman a lot. Like animated Superman from the '90s, like Tim Daly. That's my favorite version of the character. Followed by, actually, I think David Corenswet might be followed behind him. I'm not sure yet, but it's frustrating. And Batman, Ben Affleck is my favorite part of the movie. I thought he was going to be the worst thing. Like so many people, I remember when he first got cast as Batman, and everyone was like, Ben Affleck, oh man, he sucks. I'm like, you guys know Ben Affleck's been on a kind of a badass streak recently. By that point, he had had Gone Girl, The Town, Argo, all was under his belt by that point. So I was like, yo, Ben Affleck's been on a generational run, bro. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, this is not the same Ben Affleck from Geely. This is not the same Ben Affleck. And when he went in and he did the workout, he showed the I was like, this nigga is huge. This man is the size of a bathtub, yo. And he looked awesome. Like him in the suit, the like he just looked great. And like his performance was good. I said, yo, Ben Affleck is awesome. like do I think the writing for Batman was bad? I do. Because, Zack Snyder, had to just have Batman shoot guns and kill people. Because Zack Snyder, I'm sorry, bro, you just don't understand Batman or Superman. And that's weird because another movie he does where he understands two other characters, honestly, three other characters more than those two annoys me. And I'll probably talk about that in another video. Matter of fact, I'm definitely going to talk about that in another video because I think it's been 5 years now. Because damn, Tom ain't playing no games. But again, it's sad because like the movie, like when it was coming out, I was so excited. I was like, oh, it's going to come out the same year as Civil War, and it's going to go against Captain America, and it's going to be like which Clash of the Titans was better. Mind you, season two of Daredevil had came out that year, and it was Daredevil versus the Punisher for a little bit. Like it was a lot of versus each other throughout 2016. And I remember just being so excited for BVS. I wanted BVS to be like the underdog that came out on top because I was just like, if this movie is amazing, DC is set. And then it dropped, and I was like, man, Zack Snyder really fucking fumbled the bag on this joint, like horrendously. Like, if Doomsday wasn't part of it, and if the hiding of Wonder Woman wasn't there, and if Luthor didn't suck, I think BVS could have been solid because Ben Affleck was great. But Zack Snyder just didn't understand either character. And that's why I'm annoyed with Wonder Woman, because he seems to actually he wrote Wonder Woman well. He did Wonder Woman cool. Her first movie is awesome. She's cool in the Justice League movie, which he directed. So it's like he seems to actually understand Wonder Woman. But the other two, I was like, bro, you should have just made a Wonder Woman movie for all that, because you do not understand these two. Batman does represent fear, but also not to everyone, just the criminals. Superman represents hope to all, even the criminals. And you just disregard the whole thing. You just disregarded it. Now, the Batman we get in BVS and the Batman we get in Justice League, I will say I do like that progression that he gave him from BVS to Justice League, where like, oh god, I gotta talk about that. See, this one says so much. Like the death of Superman in this movie is the dumbest thing. It is the dumbest thing. I did not care enough about this Superman that when he died, I was like, oh no, Superman's dead. I was just like, bruh, I don't give a damn. I'm in the theater like, bruh, he didn't stand out as Superman enough for me to be like, honestly, in like 3 or 4 movies, if David Corenswet Superman gets killed, I'm gonna be sad. I'm going to be sad, sad, bro. Like because his Superman feels like that Superman that you would be hurt. Like mankind not trusting Superman, and this makes sense. I will say that because of the destruction of Metropolis and other things, him like playing God and saving people, and these people should probably be dead, but he still saved them anyway. And he's, but the problem I have is he seems guilty about it. Superman loves saving people, which is one thing I will say Joss Whedon did in the Whedon cut, even if it's dumbass film. He did a great job with that sequence when he was like, Superman just wants to save people as soon as he gets restored back to life. Smart. We didn't understand Superman, but Zack Snyder doesn't. And I'm dipping off, but like the problem with BBS is that it's just so all over the place, so contrived that yes, the Ultimate Edition comes out and it's a better sequence, right? It's a better movie. Some scenes are longer. Hell, it might even be cooler. Made the Africa thing at the beginning make way more sense because it was dumb as shit in the theatrical version, but it still didn't make it a good movie. It really didn't make it a good movie. There's like so many things you got to like piece together. Like, oh look, it's revealed that Joker and Harley killed Robin, and it was Dick Grayson Robin that gets killed. Not even like Jason Todd. It was Dick. Dick's the one that gets killed. Or how about the whole just like you're supposed to just understand why this Batman is so jaded. But I'm like, this Batman's been Batman for 20 years. This Superman's only been Superman for 3. So it's like, bro, that doesn't make any sense. And also the fact that like another part where it's like Zack Snyder doesn't get it. Batman was just gonna kill Superman without any regard. Like Batman was just like, I'll just kill Superman with no problem. And it's like Batman may not trust him, but he wouldn't just go out there and try to actively kill him. Like that just that's no. Even Batman at his worst, which is probably this movie, would not just be like, oh, I'm just gonna kill him just because I don't think he's worth trusting. He would get to know him first, figure him out, like see if he's worth being trusted, not just kill him. So it just isn't right. Like, and not to mention it's called BVS. They literally fight for 5 minutes, and it is actually cool when they actually fight each other. But it's not satisfying. I was like, man, this movie should have just been called World's Finest or something, and they do end up clashing, but then that'd have been a waste of a good title. You know what I mean? It's like Batman. First it was Batman versus Superman, and then as it's about to come out, it's Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. Because here's Wonder Woman, and it's supposed to set up the Justice League movie, and you get like that little sequence with like Aquaman and Flash and Cyborg, and you're like, oh, this is cool. You see all the other heroes, but this shit is ass though. Like this joint is so dumb. My man Luthor just had files on all of them, and he never really like capitalized on it. It's just not a good film. Like I could go on for a whole hour about how much BVS just isn't a good movie, and I just don't want to. Like I'm sorry to all the people who really love this movie. I've seen so many different films of like, oh, here's This is the reason why I learned to just love Zack Snyder's BVS. And I like sat through all these videos. People are like, BVS is a great movie. BVS is misunderstood. The Ultimate Edition BVS is a better movie. Watch it. And I did that. I did all that stuff to like change my perspective on BVS. And after 10 years, it's still not a good movie to me. And I've watched BVS more than once, more than twice. I've seen BVS at least 4 or 5 times, including the Ultimate Edition, so about 5 times. And I just can't. Like, I just cannot do it. I'm sorry, guys. I cannot call this a good film. Can't even call it a good comic book movie. And that's the sad part. I wanted to. 10 years ago, I wanted BBS to be that movie that everyone talked about for a decade now. And people talk about it, but not in the best way. So, unfortunately, I gotta give BBS not a good review because I really wish I could, but it's just still not a good movie. But nonetheless, thank you guys for watching. Let me know how you guys feel down below. I'm always open to anyone's opinion, even if I don't like it, because one, conversation is good. So let me know how you feel down below, and I'll see you guys.